Good evening, everyone. The Tuscaloosa City Council will now come to order. We're going to begin tonight's meeting with a prayer, and then if you would, please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Bow our heads, please. Dear God, bless our proceedings tonight. Give us the wisdom to know what is just and the strength to do what is right. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the minutes. Voting, Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Minutes stand approved. Proclamation statements by mayor and council. Tonight, I have the high honor of recognizing Lieutenant Colonel Haver, who is here with us today, and it happens to also be his 92nd birthday. And I told him, I was not telling him this when I said it, he does not look 92 years old.
No, he does not.
And I'm not even up for election, so I'm not even, I mean, I absolutely mean it. And so Lieutenant Colonel Haver, if you and your daughter Ellen and Captain Cindy Collette would come forward, I would love to read this proclamation into the record. If you would, please come forward first. And it's extremely fascinating. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Robert Haver joined the Civil Air Patrol on October 25th, 1942, and how old were you then? 12 years old, and they wouldn't give you a uniform till you were 15? 13 years old. As one of the first-year cadets that were allowed in Civil Air Patrol, he has been an active member for 80 years. Wow. He has served in Civil Air Patrols in New York, Kentucky, Michigan, California, and, of course, Alabama. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Haver actively served in Korea in 1950, but maintained his membership in the Civil Air Patrol. He has never gone more than 6 months without a squadron, which shows his dedication to the Civil Air Patrol as never wavering. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Robert Haver has served as mission coordinator, squadron commander 3 times, a sector commander, and his highest appointment, a wing deputy commander. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for his service to Civil Air Patrol during World War II. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Haver continues to strive for excellence and has completed Wing Emergency Services School as a mission scanner and as an aerial photographer, he is still an active member of the Tuscaloosa Squadron and was honored with a 50-year permanent membership in 2019. Now, is that 50 years going forward? All right, I like that. Lieutenant Colonel Haver celebrates 80 years of active service in the Civil Air Patrol on the date today. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Walt Maddox, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby honor and recognize Lieutenant Colonel Robert Haver's service to our country and to the Civil Air Patrol. Congratulations.
I thank you all, and I'm blessed to be part of this great country. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, that's all I have. Does the council have any proclamations or statements tonight?
Now, all I'd like to announce is the Tech or Treat at the Gateway and on 2614 University Boulevard, East in Alberta, will be tomorrow night due to the inclement weather. So starts at 5 o'clock, runs about 5 to 9. About 2,000 kids from across the city came last year. It's movies, magicians, vendors, lots of free candy. It's a great, safe event, and hope to see all of you there.
Mr. Tyner, you have done over the years a fantastic job with this event, and your passion for it has made it a success. So I hope everybody will come out there and see it.
It's a lot of fun. I hope they will too. Thank you.
It really is. Any other council comments? Agenda item comments by citizens?
Yes, sir. We've got 4 citizens that have signed up to speak regarding the short-term rental resolution. Our first citizen is going to be Ms. Kim Roberts.
Okay. Ms. Roberts, if you would come forward and please give your name and address.
My name is Kimberly Roberts, and we live at the Bama Bed and Breakfast at 46 Sherwood Drive here in the city. We also operate our business, Bama Vacation Rentals. We're Tuscaloosa's largest property management company for short-term rentals. We have over 80 different properties that we manage. So I look forward to working with y'all over these next few months with the work that needs to be done. I did have one request that y'all consider in this, that we do have numerous people that are already in the process of purchasing properties for the express purpose of being in the short-term management program. And many of them already have offers and are closings that are scheduled. So this is going to, I would hope that y'all would consider that those that are already in that process would be allowed to continue with the process, since that's what they are purchasing the properties for. So other than that, I look forward to working with y'all as we move forward on changing some of the regulations with short-term rentals.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Roberts.
Thank you.
Clerk,
We've got Mr. Richard Henry.
if you would, give your name and address.
Good evening, Richard Henry, 1901 8th Avenue, Tuscaloosa. I'm here on behalf of the Tuscaloosa Association of Realtors. I'll be brief. I just left a meeting with about the 40 brokers in town, the MLS board and the Realtor board, not to be in conflict with Ms. Roberts, but we would simply ask that an existing short-term rental be allowed to be transferred to a new owner. I believe the technicality of it, like a liquor license, would require the new owner and operator of an existing property to be a new applicant. So we're not asking for a net gain in short-term rentals, but just that the owner could be transferred. And I believe in the moratorium itself, it speaks to no additional ones, but we would just like to ask if you could clarify that a new owner of an existing short-term rental that's already on the books be allowed.
And
I'm glad to answer any questions on that.
thank you, Mr. Henry. I know that Mr. Tyner and myself have been in touch with the city attorney on this about a proposed written amendment. Mr. Holmes, would you mind? The council would consider this later on in the meeting, but something that we think would be amenable to all parties. Mr. Holmes? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Henry sent me an email, I think during Finance Committee. I forwarded it along to you guys at his request. It seemed like what he was asking there may be some support for, so I took the liberty of go ahead and drafting an amendment that I thought would solve his problem. Now, the way he's phrased it here, I'd be solving it differently than how he's asked for it a little bit. But I've drafted an amendment that the clerk's office has that would make the suspension of applications apply to new properties. And so if there was someone that had a property with a short-term rental that was active, and someone purchased that property and wanted to do a short-term rental, the purchaser would still have the ability to apply. Now, they would have to go through the application regulations and things like that. It wouldn't simply transfer, but they would have the ability to
Scott.
apply. Yes, sir.
What if the person who wants to have a short-term rental is already in process, and if we voted this in today, they will not meet the qualifications and the standards? So how will we handle that?
I can help, and if
Okay.
you don't mind, Mayor, I'll answer a couple of, I think, probably
Yeah, 'cause I've been
FAQs
receiving-
of what may come up here.
Yeah.
The moratorium as written, or the suspension of the acceptance of applications as written, would be effective immediately. So as of tomorrow, Urban Development and Revenue would stop accepting licenses. Anybody who is already in the process, so anybody that has applied already, would have 30 days to complete the various steps along the way. We believe that should give anybody that's kind of in the pipeline time enough to do that.
But if applied,
If they've already applied, and this would not impact any current license holders, any renewals or things like that would be able to go.
So what if they're in, as you said, already applied, what if they're in conversations with their realtors and they're about to close, like, let's say, for instance, they're gonna close Thursday, but they haven't came to us for a short-term rental, but they're in conversations with their realtor, how will we handle that? And they're closed to, like, a Thursday.
And Ms. Roberts may be able to indicate a little bit better. My guess is the amendment I've drafted would fix most of the situations she's considering, there's probably somebody that's looking to buy at a residence where there isn't a current short-term rental. Those people would have to wait until the
That's
effective
right.
date of this. one.
That's right.
And this,
that's right.
there has to be a cutoff somewhere, basically.
They have
Mr.
to-
Holmes,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
how long will this moratorium last?
As drafted, we would suspend the acceptance of applications through January the 31st of 2023. Obviously, this body could extend that further, could simply allow it to expire, or, you know, if Ms. Kreitz and I came to y'all with a brilliant solution next week, then you could go ahead and enact that and end it earlier.
Personally, I don't think it's gonna take 3 months, but, that's what's in the ordinance, is January 31st.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Mr. Holmes?
I have a question, I'm not sure it may be next door here. What conditions are we seeking to arrive at to signal the removal of the moratorium? I
Well,
mean,
yes, sir.
so we're doing a moratorium until what?
Yes, sir. So this came at council's request.
So until council,
council's satisfied.
until council approves a new one, that's what.
I think we'll be able to work with council, Ms. Kreitz and I, and kind of find the meat of the issue. And hopefully we'll also be able to find a solution to that.
And I'll say this too, everyone will be strictly notified of every meeting that we have, because we'll be, now look, I chaired that last time, it was a year. We're not gonna go through that again, a year-long process, but, basically a year. But all parties will be able to have input for sure.
Did that at least successfully not answer your question, Mr.
It
President?
did, it did. It effectively did not, but I appreciate the swag at it.
Clerk?
We've got Miss Joan Barth.
Ms. Barth, if you would, please come forward and give your name and address.
Joan Barth, 5541 Woodbury Lane in Tuscaloosa. Thank you for letting me just address you for a moment tonight. I sent you each a very lengthy email and attachment, which might be more than you expected to get from a person on such a short notice. But this is the work that I'd been involved with Tuscaloosa Neighbors Together, along with others, where we did a considerable amount of research when this was considered in 2018 and 2019, in that year-long process that we don't want to repeat again. And so I thought to resend that letter was just to say, here's some good ideas to start with. Here's some links, and I know maybe one or two of the links are maybe broken at this point, but to what other people have done as examples of what you might look to. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that. Also in the packet, we did the survey. We collected citizen input and information. And so we're really looking forward to working with you as you go ahead and consider some new additions and changes to the ordinance. And I wanted to add that I think some of the tenor of the discussion has changed, is that it really is this issue of stability in the neighborhood. So I think most people want someone who lives next door to be, you know, kind of the same person all year. You know, maybe they go away for a little bit or whatever. And so maintaining that, neighbors in the neighborhood, I think is something that we would really, really value. And that's opposed to, I think initially there was a lot of concern about the partying and disruption and sort of bad acting. And of course, we're still concerned about that, but it's really keeping the integrity of the neighborhoods and, like I said, neighbors in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Barth.
Mr. Mayor, before she sits down, so once we do this moratorium, addressing that concern, keeping the neighborhood's integrity, Scott, under the current moratorium, how do we address that? Let's say, for instance, I'm acting up. I'm a short-term renter, and I'm on Miss Williams's property, and and she calls code enforcement or police. What can happen to me if I'm not keeping the integrity of the neighborhood?
There's an annual, there's an annual review, for one, Counselor Wilson, that's why every property has to be renewed every year.
And
Okay. I just want clarity because other people want clarity, and I want everybody to know.
any current license holder will still have to apply by any of the rules and regulations. And there are, business license revocations that this body could take up, which there hasn't been one brought before y'all. There's certain code enforcements. We have had maybe a handful of issues with short-term rentals. Most of them, I believe, have been in Mr. Busby's district, and I think for the most part, we've been able to resolve those issues through steps lesser than business license revocation. There may have been one or two that weren't renewed.
Yes, sir.
Scott, yeah, before you leave, I want to make sure and be clear about so this amendment says that a current property that is already used as Airbnb, the new owners do have the power to get the license since it's already being used as this business.
They have the power to apply, and actually, the amendment, I
Yeah,
added
right.
3
No
words
new-
to the amendment
okay, that's
from what y'all had in the agenda.
That's good.
Scott,
Yes, sir.
to the point that was made earlier, it seems to me that it's not fair if someone has a closing scheduled or
Right.
something is happening that we would now say, we're going to change the rules on you if that's what you're going to use that for. Is there not, based on what you're writing, if I was buying a house and I was going to do that and I've got a closing scheduled or something in the next, then I'm out of luck?
If it's not a shared rental, short-term rental.
If it's not already in the pool.
Yeah.
We've drafted every foreseeable way that I can come up with to cut the line. Are there potentially people that are going to have a rule change happen after they thought they were going to buy a house that closing and they're going to have to make the decision? I mean, ultimately, you can make the decision and say, I think I'll be able to do this after January 31st. That's just an economic decision. I don't know a better way to draw the line, but I agree there is potentially a gap there for at least a handful of people.
Well, and those are the ones that are emailing. And I just feel like it's hard to change the rules on somebody if you're making a business decision. I'm very sympathetic to that because, if you're changing the rules on me when I've already agreed or I've got a contract with somebody, there will be consequences. You
Right.
lose I don't know what your down payment is. You can lose a lot of money.
Well,
if you don't close.
but the purpose of the moratorium is for no new applications till we can revisit this. So, and I think that would be, like you said, not everybody, with anything we do, Counselor Crowe, not everybody's going to be happy, but at the same time, if you keep saying, well, we'll extend this, you may as well not have a moratorium, because we've got serious issues with short-term rentals. And that's why we're here right now, because we need to address those and look at the ways that possibly, I was in error. I don't mind admitting it on some things that maybe I looked at 3 years ago that I don't feel that way now. But we'll see. Again, it's going to be an open process, and not everyone will be happy, but it appears the realtors are happy now with this amendment, and most people will be, but.
But what about the, and along the, I see both sides, but I also see the.
Yeah, of course.
What about those people, Mr. Tyner, and to you, Scott, that are in process right now that perhaps will close on Thursday at 2 p.m., who did not know of this process, of this happening? How do we speak to that issue?
Well, we've had a week that it's been advertised for one, and I'm dismayed that some people are coming at the last hour, because this isn't just like we just decided today. It was advertised for a solid week, 8 days now. So, I don't, for that, we can't make people be educated to everything that's done.
I'm sure
They're
the realtors,
concerned.
Mr. Tyner, all the realtors knew this.
They
was
did.
coming on. So,
They were aware of it. So like I said, it's not going to please everybody, but if you keep making exception, you might as well not do a moratorium at all.
Now, I agree with you that we do need to do one. What I'm saying, the conditions though, Mr. Tyner, of if I'm gonna put myself in it, that I am in process of buying a house and for the purpose of a short-term rental, and this happened, let's say 2 weeks ago, and I can't determine how my realtor moves. How can I logically say that they had 8 days? How can I logically, cognitively think in that particular manner?
Do you know, Mr. Wilson, of anybody in that situation?
I do, and they've emailed me.
Uh-huh.
They've been emailing me, so that's
Yeah.
that, and so I understand both sides.
Well, there has to be a cutoff, and like I said, if it doesn't go, it won't go. But I think that there's that we definitely need this moratorium, and if you're already in the process as being a shared rental, then it's not going to affect you. You're fine. And if you're new to it, you're just going to have to wait until we
To your
finish.
point, President Tyner, we need to do this sooner rather than later.
I agree.
Get this resolved
Yeah.
as quickly as possible.
I agree.
We could finish
With
this.
community
We could finish this in 3 or 4 weeks.
Any other questions for me?
I'm not one to make this a long process by any means.
Yes.
At all. But I know I can tell you our planning department staff needs a break. Bad.
I'm gonna recuse myself from this vote.
Yeah, I
I am
understand.
a property owner, and my property
Because you got
is
short-term.
licensed as a short-term rental. And I feel like it puts me in a conflicting situation. Say, I got mine. But I did want to offer 3 comments for the group, because I think my district, probably more so than any, has experienced the full brunt of this, for better and worse. And there are both sides. Number one, it has not been the debacle that I was anticipating it would be. We need to have a conversation here.
He's just telling me something.
It has not been the debacle I had thought it would be. We have had a few problems. They have been resolved, and most of the owners have run good properties. That's number one. Number two, it decidedly has changed the chemistry of my district. That's not a judgment, good or bad. That's a factual reality, that it has changed the chemistry of neighbors that certainly I grew up with. Number three, it has certainly buoyed property values. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. Depends on if you're a buyer or seller, but there can be no doubt that option available to properties has stiffened the property prices there. And number four, I suspect it has provided new home buyer outward, as they find that because of this, they can sell their properties at higher prices and move out. So with that, I will shut up and recuse myself.
Okay, well, council, we have one more person who wants to speak on this item. Clerk?
Mr. Rob Kemp.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to preempt your comment.
It's all right, I was listening. I'm Rob Kemp. I live at 1714 Fifth Avenue, and I'm the president of the Forest Lake Neighborhood Association Board. I was there too for a lot of those meetings.
Yes, you were.
I think the word that I would characterize the concern now would be proliferation, that these are here. They are operating, the ones that are operating now, in pretty good standards, but the proliferation is the problem. And I think that might address what Councilor Wilson was talking about there, the integrity. It's not the behavior as much, I think, in that concept. Yes. It's the fact that there are houses along my streets and around me that become empty then, essentially, because those people are transient. They're not going to participate in the civic affairs. And that doesn't mean you have to come down here and speak, but I know my neighbors. We keep up with each other. We know where the problem lots are. We know how we deal with those things. And that keeps us as a neighborhood. as a group, I think we agree with a couple of things that are in the proposal here. That property values are being pushed up is definitely true. The problem in my neighborhood is with those older houses, it really is nice that we've got a mix right now of students, a few homeowners, and we've got renters that range from young people, young couples, elderly folks, people who work in the area, and even some people disabled who are able to still afford to live there. But you put that additional pressure the market's already got on prices, and you're going to push those folks out. And I think they have a real value there in Forest Lake, right in the center to some extent of town. Definitely the ZBA is overburdened sometimes and becomes dysfunctional. So anything I think that can be done to reduce the flow of work through there and make those more efficient, those meetings. Planning and zoning and ZBA sometimes can just be, I mean, that's a burden. Y'all have sat through some of those things, you know. Brutal. In my neighborhood, when you turn a house into a short-term rental, we've got churches in the neighborhood and around. We've got businesses, institutions, and the schools right there in the center. When you turn it into a short-term rental, those people will never be a member of a congregation. They'll never volunteer down at the church on a regular basis. They won't have any kids going to that school. They come, you know, for however many weeks it is that we've got to use the businesses and spend money. Myself and my neighbors, even the students, are here at least 9 months, pumping money, pumping money, pumping money. I just don't believe if we look at the economics of it, there's any way even the highest spending short-term renter comes in and puts more money into the economy than me and my neighbors do. And so we lose those houses with that. And I think the last thing I would say is the short-term rental properties, it encourages people to pave more of the lot because part of what you're looking to get is the maximum number of families or couples under these licenses. And so if I pave it, make it possible to park off-street, I can pump in 3 to 5 couples, get that license, got more people splitting the bill or paying a higher bill in there, whereas it's limited, as you know, to 3 unrelated in those houses now. And so you've suddenly got more people. There's that incentive to pave the lot to some extent and pump more people in there as opposed to leaving it reasonable for 2 and 3 cars to be at a house. I appreciate the fact that y'all are considering this again. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
Yeah. We'll sure let you know too. Thank you.
Thank
Any other
you.
council comments before we move into the agenda? And this item will come back under ordinances and resolutions.
Yes, sir, I will, and then we can move on. Thank you so much for giving me so much clarity to what you've spoken, using the word proliferation, because that's the same thing that you're addressing when it comes to homeowners and renters in my community. That's the same thing we see, even if they're long-term. Are they a part of that particular community? Are they a part, but they're staying long-term, but are they really a part of that particular community? This is really kind of a catch-22 because you have a gray area where you have someone who's in the mixed. I totally believe we need a moratorium. I know you hear me. That's not the issue, but I'm really concerned about the person that's in the middle. That's all I have to say.
Any other comments? Consent agenda, clerk?
Yeah.
This approves items A through N on the consent.
Move
agenda.
adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Consent agenda is adopted. Public hearings, clerk.
This will approve a bar/tavern as a conditional use for the Bear Trap.
Move adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and second.
Okay, so this is a conditional use application for a bar. It's the Bear Trap, 1137 University Boulevard. Here's an aerial view of that property. And then a view from the street. This is on the strip. So the request, again, section 2452 does require bars or taverns as a conditional use, subject to review and approval by City Council. Some criteria to consider are occupancy, hours of operation, proximity to like establishments, public safety plan, and plan to reduce possible nuisances. So the occupancy for the Bear Trap is 336. The hours of operation for Sunday are going to be 2 p.m. to 11 a.m., Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 a.m., and Saturday, 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. So for the public safety plan per the petitioner, they do have staff in place to handle emergency procedures, and they have security and emergency lighting as well. Their employees have been trained to handle emergency situations. Their patrons use public parking or transportation, and they announce last call 30 minutes prior to closing. Do I have any questions?
Any questions?
Good deal. Mr. McCollum is here.
Thank you. If the applicant would come forward and please give your name and address.
Daniel McCollum, 1137 University at Tuscaloosa.
Any questions?
Daniel or Emily, we talked in pre-council about how this change we view favorably because it precludes underage people in there in certain hours. Does this affect your capacity at all?
No, it hasn't.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone here wish to speak for or against? Seeing none, voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Conditional use is approved. Good luck. Resolution ordinance is not of a general nature or permanent operation. Clerk?
This will authorize the suspension of the issuance of short-term rental licenses in the corporate limits.
Move adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and second. I know there is a written amendment that has been, I think has been presented to the.
Yes, if you guys would like to make an amendment, I'll need a motion and a second to make that amendment.
I would like, in a second.
Okay, this is for the amendment.
This is
Okay.
the amendment that's currently
Right.
in front of you, yes.
Right.
Can I comment now?
Yes, sir.
You know, I'll be brief, I promise, because it's been a long day. I think this is very, very, very important to have this moratorium. I've seen some issues that I don't think we ever thought would exist, at least I didn't, as far as a true onslaught of short-term rentals that has just, in some ways, just completely seems to be taking over our city. I have problems with someone running a business in a neighborhood because, you know, we don't allow, I deal with this a lot in Alberta. You know, you got people who are mechanicking out of their home, who are cutting hair out of their home, who are doing a lot of things out of home, and it's not allowed because we don't allow a business in a neighborhood. And by some of this, the way this is set up, we are allowing somebody from Michigan or any place outside of Alabama to not even know Tuscaloosa that's going into a neighborhood and buying up homes and running a business out of it at the expense of the neighborhood. So I look forward to this. I hope it'll pass tonight. I'm not sure. But I know Ms. Kreitz has been 150% for a moratorium for some time. I've had two members of the Zoning Board of Adjustments, which we know. They've asked, they said, please help us. And so I believe the time is no better than, someone said it earlier, I think maybe Mr. Councilor Crowe said, it's no better time than now to re-examine where we move forward with short-term rentals, while making very clear, Mayor, that anybody that's doing it now, you are grandfathered. And if you're in that, if you already have a short-term rental properties, this is not going to affect you. And also, as I told Councilor Lanier earlier, this isn't, we're not doing away with short-term rentals. And it may be, this moratorium may even be a month. It may be 3 weeks, or it may take the 3 months. But to get it right, as we talked about earlier, about a bunch of millions of dollars on a certain project, if it takes 3 months to get it right, then it may take 3 months to get it right.
When Mr. Tyner, if the amendment and then the resolution passes, I've asked Ashley Kreitz to coordinate with you on how you want to move forward over the next 60 to 90 days.
That sounds great.
And the team stands ready to provide what you need.
I appreciate that very much. I hope we'll be able to do that.
And
Any other comments on the amendment?
yes, sir. And Councilor, Mr. President, I would that we would be cognitive and sensitive to those that are in that gray area, how we would like to move forward with them because of the time frame that this was given.
Right.
Okay?
Any
I
other
understand.
comments?
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to be voting on the amendment itself. Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
Yes.
Recuse.
Yes.
Yes.
Is this on the amended resolution?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The amendment is adopted.
Right.
Now we are voting on the amended, adopt the amended resolution. Voting, Mr. Wilson.
Need a motion
Yes.
and a second.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry, I didn't do as I was told.
I so move, Mr. Mayor,
I
that
need a
we,
motion and a second to
I'll
adopt the
second.
amended
There
resolution.
we go.
yes,
Yes.
so moved.
Moved and second to adopt the amended resolution. Now voting, Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Recuse.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the resolution passes. Clerk?
This will authorize the Downtown Riverfront Overlay District permit for 2605 11th Street.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Permit is approved. Clerk?
This will authorize a disbursement from the District 1 Improvement Fund for MLK Elementary Fall Festival.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This will authorize a disbursement from the District 2 Improvements Fund for the Community Policing Event at Stillman College.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
The substitute for page 37 authorizes a funding agreement with the Para Foundation.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes execution of an agreement with the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes contract amendment number 1 to the contract with Ellis Architects Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2023 Water and Sewer Reserve for Future Improvements Fund budget.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This will authorize an agency funding agreement for the Elevate Athletic Excellence Fund.
So, second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes the Chief Financial Officer to draw drafts for the Downs Improvements Project property acquisitions.
So
Motion.
moved. Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This will authorize an agreement with the Tuscaloosa County Tax Assessor's Office for geospatial data and imagery.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes the creation and implementation of the Children's Toys for Parking Tickets program.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This will authorize execution of grant participation documents with the Southeast Alabama Highway Safety Office for the Community Traffic Safety Program.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes a memorandum of understanding with Herzing University.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes execution of a right-of-way permit to Night Sign Industries Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes execution of agreements and related documents for the Unity Fest 2023 event.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes execution of grant agreements for the city's program year 2022 Community Block Grant Program and Home Investment Partnerships Program.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes execution of a certification for the Tuscaloosa Housing Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier?
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk?
This authorizes execution of subrecipient agreements and a memorandum of understanding for the city's 2022 Community Development Block Grant Program and Home Investment Partnerships Program.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Ordinances and resolutions of a general nature or permanent operation. Clerk.
This introduces zoning amendment number 1487.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Clerk.
This introduces zoning amendment number 1488.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Clerk.
This amends section 2-103A1 of the Code of Tuscaloosa.
So, second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Do I
Call
hear
for
a
unanimous consent?
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Code is amended. Clerk.
This authorizes amendment number 1 to the Elevate Tuscaloosa Fund budget.
Move adoption.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Call for unanimous.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Amendment is adopted for adoption. Clerk.
This sets November 22nd as the day for a public hearing to consider adoption of zoning amendment number 1487.
So, second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Date is set. Clerk.
This sets November 22nd as the day for a public hearing to consider adoption of zoning amendment 1488.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Date is set. Clerk.
This sets November 22nd as the day for a public hearing to consider approval of Royal Pines subdivision Phase 4, a planned unit development.
Call for the adoption.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Date is set. Auditing account.
This authorizes payment of bills.
Pay kids'
Pay
bills.
kids'
Pay my bills.
Moved and second. You got out a little, you stayed in a little. That kind of week, I see.
Tank of gas.
Yeah.
Like.
Good one. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Bills are paid. Citizens' comments and other communications. Any citizens wish to address their city council tonight?
Mayor, may I make a quick announcement? Thursday is the deadline at 5 o'clock. If anybody's interested in ZBA, we have three open spots for the zoning board of adjustments. And if you know of anybody may be interested, contact the clerk's office by 5 o'clock Thursday, this Thursday.
Thank you, Councilor Tyner. Any other announcements?
Mayor.
Okay. Yes, sir. If you would, please come forward and give your name and address.
Thank you, Mayor. James Mize, 2014 Glendale Gardens, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 35401. Here tonight for a couple of things. Short-term rentals is, if you look at other cities across the country, they're all having a hard time dealing with what we're dealing with, more so. Neighborhoods turning into rental places, and you never know who the neighbor's going to be. One thing about our deal I don't understand is why we have up to maximum of 10 unrelated people in a dwelling in a short-term rental when the zoning is only for 3 unrelated, no more, or 2 unrelated, no more. I'd love to see that changed. I don't understand why a homeowner has to leave a house for it to be short-term rental. Am I wrong? And I may be totally incorrect in that. I also agree with someone who mentioned that, a residential zoning is to protect the homeowners who reside in their homes from an encroachment of businesses. I agree with that totally. I think we all ought to, which would eliminate short-term businesses in a neighborhood. And they blossom them up like the cones on the highway now, Tuscaloosa. I've attended a number of the short-term rental ZBA meetings over the years. And I have to say, short-term rentals is given an unpleasant thing for somebody else to have to deal with. And Bob Ennis I've known for probably 40 years or longer. And I've also known the folks in the Highlands who made some comments for longer than that. They're both fine people. They do what they think is right. I've watched Bob oversee the short-term rentals, and he went by the book, what was written, even though it's hard to understand or hard to see. And it is a difficult position to be in anytime you're on where you are now, or on the Historic Commission, or on the Planning Commission, or you're always going to tick somebody else off. But I did want to step up and say Bob did a good job for our city, as someone else here said, for the 30 years, and appreciate his time. And but I think what happened was unfortunate, but also I think it seemed to me, without being able to read everything and know what was going on all the way through, is a little unfair. What else have I got in here? Anyway, but again, I appreciate the time, and I would like to see short-term rentals go away, period. Don't think I'm in the minority either. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address City Council tonight? If you would, please come forward and give your name and address.
And my name is Bill McDaniel, 7306 Harperwood Street. That is a Northport 35473. Here representing interest at 1431 Gardenia Avenue for the short-term rental. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate you working through this. I've been talking with Mr. Wilson a little bit. I fall into that very small population that we were referencing earlier for Mr. Tyner, as far as people already under contract moving towards closing. We went under contract on September 30th with a closing of this Friday at 10 a.m. Obviously, seeing that there were publications for 8 days, this was brought to my attention at 4:25 this afternoon from my realtor. So
I heard from her too.
but I know she was going to call you. Alice is.
She already has.
I had no doubt. she's feisty. So I work here in town in Tuscaloosa. So for me, I tend to agree with the rest of the gal that has spoken on short-term rentals. I think, like you said, there needs to be a cutoff. There has to be a time. We have to make adjustments, and there are points. In the situation where I am standing, the rental we were putting in was going to be for my father-in-law as a permanent living situation, and he would be staying with us on game day, graduation, move-in weekends in Northport. It is a way to subsidize his retired living expenses so that he could afford to have a place of his own and move out of my house. That is the current situation. So
that sounds like a hardship.
All that to say,
Right.
the amendment was addressing one thing. The condo we are buying right there next to the mall was used as a long-term student rental. I don't know if they have their previous short-term rental license already. I don't know that either, and that was not something my real estate agent could answer at the time at 4 o'clock today. We would fall into that gray area of people that we went under contract 30 days ago, we plan to close in 2 days. It is very vital to our affordability of this property to have access to those 12 to 15 rental days a year, and it puts us in a really difficult bind right now as far as not understanding where we stand, and it may be the door being closed on us. And yeah, I do agree with the points you're making, and I see how it does take over the neighborhoods, and I agree with the gentleman that spoke earlier. My situation that I'm bringing to the table is I do have somebody I'm putting into the community who will be staying with the community and living there, and we're looking to rent this thing for 12 to 14 weekends a year in order to subsidize the fact of how I can help him afford to live there. So that was a piece I wanted to make, that there is probably 10 of us, maybe not even that many. It's a very small population, but it does drastically affect the decisions I have to make over the next 48 hours in order to close on this property.
First of all, I appreciate your attitude and the way you've come here. I mean, you've got a wonderful personality. It's great to see that. I believe that, that's already a short-term rental property.
I sure hope so. I don't know that answer, and that's why I wanted to ask if there was any way in future amendments or considerations that there are, like he said, he couldn't think of other ways to address it, and I think the amendment addressed a lot of directions, but there are also another direction in my head of someone that was already under contract by this day, and it must be closed on by this day. So I don't care if you say October 31st is your closing date, because like you said, there has to be a cutoff. We have to start somewhere, but we have to address those that were already in the process in some way. And I think my 30-day closing is literally as fast as I've seen a bank do it. So
And I hope so, but I really do believe that. I used to live on Gardenia Avenue, so the tornado changed where I live.
it's best two-bedroom, two-bath condos, easy location. It's the best option for a single person.
I would still be there now if Mr.
So
Tornado.
that's the point I wanted to make, is
But-
if we just consider those maybe 10 people like myself that are sitting in the gray area, it would greatly affect our feasibility to keep that purchase on track.
I honestly believe it's short-term rental already. I do believe that, but we'll.
Don't you
I-
think,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Turner.
by January 31st, he's going to be able to be, I mean, we're not going to do away with short-term rental.
Sure.
And you're not going to be able to, I don't know, you may have something planned
Well,
next week.
I'm not worried about anything for this immediate future in the next 30 days to rent, but my trust, you guys don't know me any more than I know you guys, but when I see moratorium, the chance of that being extended or changing too much, there's too much risk there for me to say I want to put $200,000 on the line that am not 100% sure that I can subsidize. So that was the point I wanted to make.
I will, with everything in my power, I promise you, it's going to be the shortest moratorium, hopefully, that we've ever had. But a very necessary one.
I agree. I agree with the whole points of
I know
everything
you
you're
do.
doing.
And I thank you for that. And I believe you're going to find that short term already.
All right, well, we're working on it. Thank you very much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the city council tonight? Seeing none, subject to the exercise of mayoral veto and ordinances of a general nature are permanent operational, applicable departments hereby ordered to otherwise implement council policy this day enacted. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved and second, voting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I got my.
Yes.
I got my.
Meeting's adjourned.
I'm set up today. Give me back. Bye.